Evening, everyone. It's 5:51 on Wednesday evening, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 1654. Stocks were lower today. They were lower all day. Um, not overwhelming, and certainly not excessively or in any kind of a real rout. The Dow was down 0.6%, $208, and the advanced declines and the advancing declining volume were both about 2 to 1 down. Nasdaq down 203. The mega cap and FANG names led the way, and I'll get to that in a second. Advanced declines there were 2.5 to 1. S&P was down 46. The Russell was down 30, and the Dow Jones transports were down 95. So the biggest loser was 1.7% in the NASDAQ, followed by the Russell at 1.5%. What was interesting, though, is that the VIX is showing pretty complacent participants. It closed at 1963, up 97, which is an okay move, but considering where the market is after the rally that it's had, that is surprising to me. Let's look at some of the stocks that we looked at this morning. CVS, which reported earnings this morning, was up $1.70. It actually closed up almost $3, 88.98, up 2.98 or 3.5%. They also formally announced the Oak Street acquisition at $39. Cpri Holdings, which is not real high end, but a step above regular retail. I think Michael Kors and those kind of brands. This morning was 53 and a half, and that was really not down much, but it fell as far as 47.40 and closed at 50.71, and that was down 15, 24%. So it was down 12 this morning, finished down 15. The one that I actually have to laugh about is Google. They made a big deal, had an event today to show off their Bard, like the Bard, Shakespeare, AI system. The stock had closed at 108 this morning. It was 103.98, but it actually moved all the way down and closed at 100, down 804 or 7.5%, primarily because they asked Bard a question and the Bard got it wrong. So there was no recovering from that, at least when Musk's guy threw the rock and broke the window in the pickup truck, he recovered. Meta, kind of interesting. The stock has moved from 153 to almost 200, and had closed around 192. Today, it closed at 183.43, down $8.19. I want to show you, though, what has me concerned about it here. Here's the chart, a daily. Let's go to the daily. What has me concerned is this huge gap that it left. The earnings came out and the stock had closed at 153, and the low that day was 180. So now we have 5 days of consolidation, with today being the lowest close. Now, if this comes down below this 180.18, it's going to leave what's called an island reversal. And it really takes a while to work off those kind of things. Here's one that was not as much of an island, but had closed up and then gapped down. And, the gap started here at 160, gapped down again here from 130 to ultimately make the bottom here at 88.09. So, there are a lot of little gaps and stuff, but if this comes down, the stock is very overbought from the move from basically 150 to almost 200. So I consider that, excuse me, a little on the scary side. So we'll have to see whether or not that happens. I haven't liked the market up here anyway, but you know. Okay, Sonos had earnings, a strong beat. This stock closed at 1786, down 72, and in after hours on the beat, it moved as high as 2094. Last is 2057, up 11%, just under $2. Mattel went the opposite way. They had a 22% drop in sales for the holiday season. They're hearing from retailers that they're dramatically discounting the excessive inventory that they have. And, that's really a tough thing to get away from at this time of the year because, birthdays are one thing, but the holidays where there's real retail is becoming the issue. The stock moved down to 1795. So it closed 20 and a half, down a quarter, moved down to 1795. Last is 1820. That's down 255 or 12%. So that's pretty ugly. Microsoft, really not doing much of anything. It was only down 83 cents, but like the Meta, it was as high as 276.76 and it closed at 266.73. So even though it was only down 83 cents, it closed $10 off the high and on the low. Disney, on the other hand, this is the first report now that Iger is back. The stock had actually closed 111.78, up only 15 cents. When the news came out, it moved straight up to 116, so up almost $5. Came all the way back down to unchanged, and then ran up to 123.88. So that's a pretty nice move for Disney. It has sold off again. It's back to 117.55, and that's up 592, which is still a nice day. This is going to be really tough. Iger was at the head of this company when they did a bunch of acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions. They're not in that space right now. So the talk about, cutting costs and refocusing, it's just not as simple as it looks. So we'll have to see how it goes. And that's really about it. But I do want to show you, here's the bad news. If you like orange juice in the morning or in the afternoon with vodka in it, it's getting much more expensive. Orange juice. This is a daily chart. It has gone from this level, which also was elevated at $2, considering that where it really came from was $1. Came from $1, rallied up to 140, came back down to about $1, and started up again, consolidated in here, and now has exploded higher. This last week it was let's see where the close was, 241, up $36. And now 257, 256.95 on the close with a 258.90 high. So this is what if you were using this instead of buying eggs, you're going to have to make some changes. Uh, the oil was up again. We've discussed this a dozen times. We're getting back towards that magnet at $80. We were down to 72 and a half 2.5 days ago, and we've just popped right back up. The gold, 1890, trying to recover. It was up about 15 earlier, but it did close up only 590. The silver closed up 24 cents. Nat gas, again, a down day. It really looked like it was trying this morning, got up around the 256, 258 area, closed 239, down 18. The dollar was basically unchanged. It was down 3 cents at 103.27. Bitcoin was down 415, but is still holding on pretty well. I mean, it's still just under 23,000. So there you have it. There will not be a pre-opening comment tomorrow morning because I have to go to the dentist. And I don't think that I'll be back in front of the screens until about 10 o'clock. So if there's anything to talk about, then I will be happy to do it. But if not, you're on your own. Have a good evening, everyone.